Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something maybe a little different, a bit unexpected. We're setting aside the usual dense research papers for a moment.
Hmm.
Our source material for this deep dive, it's actually just a 30-minute conversation script.
Hmm.
Really simple, between two friends, Rahul and Neha, catching up at a coffee shop.
That's right. And our mission really is to kind of dig into that, to uncover the profound nuggets of knowledge, the surprising insights that often hide in plain sight,
Mhm.
right there in the seemingly mundane details of just a casual chat.
Finding the universal in the specific.
Exactly. It's about seeing the universal human experience, those subtle patterns of modern life reflected in these, well, wonderfully relatable scenarios.
And I bet as we unpack this, you listening are going to hear echoes of your own daily grind, right? Those little wins, maybe those moments that make you chuckle because they're so familiar. You might just find your own day-to-day life mirrored here. So, okay, let's dive in. The rhythm of modern life. What jumps out at you first from Rahul and Neha's chat?
Well, what's immediately striking, I think, is how both of them, Rahul working in an office, Neha being a student, they independently hit this exact same theme, just being constantly busy.
Yeah.
Rahul's got his meetings, deadlines, reports. Neha's juggling assignments, lectures, exams. It's not just the workload itself. It really points to something deeper, this universal feeling of having very little agency over your own time, always reacting.
That's a really sharp point. That constant reactivity, it feels like it fundamentally messes with how they even perceive time, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
Neha thinking Friday was Wednesday,
Yeah.
that's more than just being busy, right? It
Yeah.
feels like a symptom almost of modern life, just blurring the days together, eroding that sense of control.
Exactly. It really speaks volumes about the mental load we all seem to carry now.
Okay.
And if you drill down even further into those little daily micro battles,
Uh-huh.
the alarm battle, that's practically a universal anthem.
Oh, definitely.
Rahul calls himself a professional alarm snoozer, which is pretty funny.
Mm.
And Nia's classic 5 more minutes dilemma that, well, leads to her sleeping in. It's not just about being tired, is it? It's often like the very first negotiation we have with ourselves each day, a tiny fight against procrastination that kind of sets the tone.
It really is. That little voice saying, just a bit longer, prioritizing that immediate comfort over what we plan. It's fascinating how a simple chat reveals these deep-seated human tendencies.
Okay, so from the bedroom battle,
Mhm.
let's shift to a different kind of daily negotiation. The kitchen. Or maybe more accurately, the food delivery app.
Mm-hmm.
That often tells us so much about our relationship with time and convenience.
Oh, absolutely. You see this constant push-pull, right? Wanting to cook at home, Neha says, I try to cook when I can, versus the sheer ease of ordering in. Rahul nails the modern dilemma. It saves time, but not money.
Right.
And that often comes with that little pang of guilt, doesn't it? That subtle sort of psychological cost for choosing the easy option. And the frustrations when that convenience backfires, Neha's noodles,
Oh, yeah.
almost like eating rubber bands, arriving cold, or that, frankly, insulting 50 coupon for one samosa as compensation.
Yeah.
It's such a vivid picture of what you might call the convenience premium. You pay for speed, maybe, but you often lose out on quality, on control,
Yeah.
leading to these small, annoying disappointments.
That's a great phrase for a convenience premium. It really makes you question, how much does that convenience truly help when the quality drops or these little annoyances pile up?
Mhm.
And then, of course, there's Maggie.
Ah, Maggie, the great equalizer.
Pretty much. Raoul calls it life, quick, tasty, fills you up. It's more than just comfort food, isn't it? It's like a cultural shortcut, the go-to fix when time and energy are just gone.
And even Maggie isn't safe from family dynamics.
Right.
Neha's brother finishing the packets, Rahul's sister finishing his chocolate. It's like the oldest story, this quiet battle over shared snacks in the house.
It connects to something else, too, I think. This very human thing of learning, of perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Neha learning to make pasta.
Yeah, that was interesting.
From disaster, she said, to edible, and then finally, surprisingly good. It's a lovely little illustration that progress is often messy, incremental.
Yep.
A small win, maybe, gaining a bit of skill in a life where other things feel dictated.
That's a nice way to see it. From disaster to surprisingly good.
Mm.
Applies to so much, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, leaving the kitchen, let's step out into the urban jungle. Navigating daily life, personal well-being. Rahul's got that hybrid work model, 3 days office, 2 home. Sounds okay on paper.
Yeah, on paper being the key phrase,
Yeah.
because then you hit the traffic.
Mm.
Neha's experience 1 hour just to go 5 kilometers?
Oh.
I mean, that's just a brutal reality for so many people in cities. This killing traffic, it's not just lost time, is it? It drains your energy.
Yeah.
It forces people to find ways anyway to cope, to reclaim some mental space during that dead time.
And they do find ways, like listening to music or podcasts.
Sure.
Or Neha calling friends. Or her mom. Right.
Who then immediately gives her the full shopping list.
Yep. Milk, eggs, biscuits, detergents. And, wait for it,
Let me guess.
Maggie.
More Maggie.
Mm.
Of course. It's fascinating how we multitask or just try to fill those gaps and how family stuff weaves in even when stuck in traffic.
It really is. An adaptive strategy, like you said, leveraging that downtime. Okay, what about personal well-being? They both talk about wanting to be more active.
They do. I've tried morning yoga. Rahul mentions jogging to clear my head or just wanting some fresh air after looking at a screen all day. It reflects that, deep need we have for movement, for connecting with the outside.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
Always.
Hmm.
The reality often ends up being the couch potato tendency, as they put it.
Yeah.
Blaming the weather is a classic excuse. It just speaks to that universal gap between what we intend to do and what we actually do.
Yeah.
That daily argument with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So true. And weekends, how do they unwind?
Well, Rahul mentions the dreaded room cleaning.
Oh, yeah, the chore.
But he admits it feels good after it's done.
Mm-hmm.
That little sense of accomplishment from tackling chaos. And then simple stuff, watching movies. And I loved Rahul's admission about sneaking snacks into the cinema because the popcorn is so overpriced.
Haha, yes, the tiny rebellion.
Exactly. It's not just being cheap. It feels like a small stand, asserting a bit of control, refusing to be ripped off for a simple pleasure.
A micro-rebellion against popcorn profiteering. I like it. And it leads nicely into their plan, right? An early Sunday movie and lunch together, a deliberate effort to connect.
Seems like a reward.
Which brings us to something that's both a connector and a huge divider in modern life. Digital distractions.
Oh, this is such a big one in their chat. It comes through so clearly. Nia specifically talks about Instagram Reels. How 1 minute just vanishes into an hour, stopping her from finishing her book.
Then there.
Haven't we all? And Rahul's confession, just meaning to check messages, but ending up watching cat videos for 30 minutes. It perfectly shows how sticky this online content is, designed to hook us.
It's that pull of instant gratification versus sustained focus, isn't it? But what's really striking here is that they both recognize it, and they come up with a solution together.
Yes, that no phones rule for their Sunday meetup.
Phones down, fun up.
I love that phrase. It's not just, oh, let's chat without phones.
Yeah.
It feels more profound, like a real yearning for genuine presence,
Yeah.
a conscious pushback against the constant digital noise. They recognize that real connection needs actual undivided attention.
It really does. It's about reclaiming those moments, maybe. Disconnecting to actually connect.
Well put. And finally, we can't ignore something else that's just so universal, especially living somewhere like India, the weather, and the simple joys it brings or forces upon us.
You could almost feel the heat rising off the page when they talk about summer is here in full power.
Absolutely. And their coping mechanisms are so relatable, so simple. Living under the fan, needing cold water and ice cream, these aren't luxuries. They're like essential survival tools, simple anchors in a complex world.
Tangible comforts.
And those little specifics, Neha needing chocolate always for her ice cream, Rahul waiting all year for mango season. These details make it so real, don't they? Tapping into those simple, almost primal pleasures that define a season offer something to look forward to.
It's just so clear, isn't it? This whole deep dive into what seems like a totally ordinary, simple 30-minute chat between two friends. It reveals so much common ground. The details are theirs. Rahul's reports, Neha's exams, the specific traffic, the Maggie, but the themes underneath, the struggle for control, the search for real connection, those tiny daily wins, finding comfort in simple things, that's universal.
Absolutely. It really underscores how these small, but maybe seemingly insignificant interactions and routines, they actually form the backbone of our lives, our connections. There's a real richness hidden in the everyday if we just pause and look a bit deeper.
So, maybe the question for you listening is this. What might happen if you took a deep dive into your own casual conversations? Or just your daily routines? What surprising insights might bubble up about your own experience, the subtle ways you navigate the world, or even those quiet internal battles you fight each day? Maybe the biggest lessons aren't in the grand theories, but hiding right there in the mundane moments we usually just rush past. Something to think about.